About 1,000 years ago. Yes, back when words like central bank, interest rate decision, and inflation report hadn't entered our lives yet. Back when something called capitalism didn't even exist, a Muslim thinker emerged and made such a warning that it's possible to hear the echo of his words in every financial crisis we experience today. He said, "If money loses its moral compass, society rots from the inside." And let's be honest, when we look at the world we live in today, it feels as if he knew us better than we know ourselves. Welcome to Finance and Power, to the place where money and power have walked side by side throughout history. And let's say this from the start, nothing is as simple as it seems. Now let's rewind a bit. To understand Ghazali, we need to go to a world that feels both familiar and foreign. The calendars show roughly the year 1100. Europe, fragmented, poor, still trying to clean up the ruins of the Middle Ages. But at the same time, the Islamic world, a vast geography stretching from Al-Andalus to Persian lands. Cities are rich, crowded, alive. Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo. Think of them like today's New York, London, Tokyo. Finance flows here. Knowledge is produced here. Caravans pass through the Silk Road. Silk, spices, textiles, silver. Markets are buzzing. Scholars debate philosophy, discuss astronomy, advance medicine. Money flows, wealth grows, and society changes without fully realizing what's happening. It is in this environment that someone steps onto the stage, Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali. But defining him in a single word is difficult. A bit of a philosopher, a bit of a jurist, a bit of a theologian, and also the uncomfortable guy who says, something about this is wrong. He can explain the meaning of the soul and why the monetary system is breaking in one breath. He's born in 1058 in Persian lands. He has intelligence, he has discipline. His career rises rapidly. By his mid-30s, he's sitting in one of the most prestigious academic chairs of his era. But that's not what makes him different from everyone else. What makes him different is this. He doesn't say everyone does it this way. He looks around. Wealth is increasing, markets are expanding, but instinctively he feels this. Something is not right. There is money, but no meaning. There is wealth, but no peace. A system that looks shiny from the outside, but is rotten from the inside. Does that sound familiar today? Exactly. And Ghazali asks the question no one dares to ask. What happens when a society becomes rich faster than it becomes wise? To find the answer, he looks directly at money itself. This is the point where Western audiences usually say, wait a minute, because Ghazali is not just a religious figure, he's also one of the earliest thinkers to analyze money morally and systemically. Aristotle sees money as a practical tool. Modern economists play with numbers. Ghazali asks this instead. How does money change people? How does it distort or correct human behavior? Where does it drag society? According to Ghazali, money is not something to be worshipped, not a fetish to be hoarded, certainly not a status symbol. Money is a tool. That's all. He compares it to a mirror. The value of a mirror is not in the glass, but in what it reflects. Money is the same way. It doesn't matter if it's gold. It doesn't matter if it's silver. What matters is that it enables people to produce and exchange together. You know those modern theories that say it's not the money itself, but its circulation that matters? Ghazali was saying this in the 11th century, while most of Europe still thought wealth meant land plus sword. And from here comes the famous insight. Hoarded money is dead money. Wealth locked in chests, gold hidden under pillows, buried money. According to Ghazali, these are not just useless, they make society sick. Because money that doesn't circulate doesn't become wages for workers, doesn't expand trade, doesn't keep families afloat. It stops the circulation of blood in society. But the issue is not just the rich or greedy. This works at a systemic level.
When the wealthy lock up money, artificial scarcity is created, not because resources are depleted, but because circulation is blocked. Prices distort, markets collapse, and everyone pays the price. Then comes the next explosive idea. Speculation kills trust. Those who play with prices, those who create artificial crises, those who try to profit from disasters, Ghazali does not admire them, not at all. According to him, this is not intelligence, this is moral decay. Those who profit from others' suffering, he says, profit from corruption. And corruption is contagious. It starts in one place, then spreads to markets, to institutions, to the entire society. Modern bubbles, crisis opportunists, predatory finance? Yes, the version from 900 years ago.
But be careful. Ghazali is not anti-profit, not anti-trade at all. He argues that markets are necessary. He accepts that wealth can be meaningful. His problem is with deception, lies, false weights, withholding information, because markets stand on trust. When trust disappears, the economy goes with it. What we today call information asymmetry and moral hazard, Ghazali explains without using jargon. He also has a view on labor. He says working is honorable. He says wealth without contribution is dangerous because labor builds character. Manipulation corrodes it. This may sound like a moral lesson to you, but it is actually very practical. Where there is contribution, society grows. Where there is exploitation, society weakens. And Ghazali doesn't stop there. He turns to the state as well. Medieval rulers, just like today, dilute money, manipulate gold content, silently take from the people's pockets. Ghazali says this clearly. This is theft. It destroys trust. It hits the poor. It collapses the system. The state must protect the market, but it must not manipulate it. Unjust rulers destroy public welfare faster than external enemies. And throughout history, that is exactly what happens. Corruption at the top spreads downward. If the ruler starts deceiving, the merchant deceives too. If institutions rot, individuals stop caring. The result? A society can endure poverty, but it cannot endure corruption. Collapse does not come when money runs out. It comes when trust runs out. And money itself is actually a belief system. If people stop believing, the system doesn't work. Ghazali saw this very clearly. Today, Weimar Germany, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Argentina, all the same story. And the modern world? Ghazali's ideas don't sound like medieval philosophy. They sound like a diagnostic report. Money has accelerated. Meaning has fallen behind. Inequality has increased. Trust has eroded. Technology may have changed, but humans are still the same. If Ghazali were to look today, he would probably say this: without justice, there can be no prosperity. Economies don't collapse because of numbers. They collapse because people no longer trust each other. And he leaves us with this final truth. Money is not a mechanical thing. It is a moral ecosystem. If that ecosystem breaks, the system collapses as well. That is why his ideas are still so important. That is why his ideas are still valid. And yes, if you learned something from this video, if this video gave you a new perspective, don't forget to subscribe.